So this is what I did today. It's kind of getting excited this week about this. So the firewall is painted. It's not fully matted out yet, so it's still wet. But it won't be as glossy as it is right now once it fully dries. So everything is prepped. The entire cab is prepped. I painted the firewall first because it's gonna be the easiest thing to tape back off. So tomorrow I'll tape the firewall down and I'll paint the rest of the cab glossy. The doors are outside, they're done also. Back here, I got the inside fenders finished too. Got them painted. Guys got them all prepped up. So these are finished because this will be matte. The tubs will be the matte black like they were factory. The core support will also be black. But tomorrow I'll flip the fenders. I'll hang them up so they're hanging like they would be on the car. That rack will go. I'll put the doors here, the fenders, and I'll paint inside and out of the doors at the same time. So the doors will be finished. And don't know that person. But that's it for me, really. Get all this stuff ready for Philip when he comes back in town. He just left Wednesday, a couple days ago. So he's here Monday and Tuesday kind of helping us get some things ready to rock and roll. But when he comes back, he'll have a lot to do. He'll have the cable go back on the chassis, and it'll just be game on for him. Wiring, getting all the inside finished up and whatnot. And we'll be far enough ahead that we won't have to be pushing so hard on the bodywork on his truck. We can finish up the Derek C10 in there because Canton's got that in 320 now, I think. So that'll come apart next week. We'll cut the doors back open, start back taping everything, for a little bit of primer on the edges. And that truck will come apart and we'll start painting that when I get back from vacation. Me and my wife will get to have a little getaway next week. So I'll be here maybe Tuesday next week. We'll be off Monday because that's Labor Day. And then I may or may not come in Tuesday. I don't know. But then we're leaving Wednesday and I'll be back the following week.
That kind of works perfect. I meant to tell you I'm leaving town Wednesday next week.
Sweet. So there'll be no video the following week. So we'll skip a week.
I bet you feel relieved just to get some paint down on some stuff.
I'm tired of not painting anything. It sucks, but like we talked about in the last video, it's like everything's gonna seem like it's just falling together really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, which is good, right? So I say we show you my new toy. You're about to die. All right. So my dad went to Detroit to pick me up my new whip and brought it down. I didn't show y'all because we hadn't got it running yet.
Dude, straight out of casino.
But
straight out of casino.
It's got its issues, man. I got it from my buddy. She got a little rust in her, a little here, a little here. There's quite a bit here, but that's all right though.
I just saw.
Oh, when you kick it, yeah, shit falls out. But look, it ain't about that. It's the nostalgia. It's the cool factor of it.
It really is.
Look at, I mean, the interior's pretty. I mean, it's an '83 Caddy. The funny thing about it to me is, right? Let's get them leaves out of there. We don't need that. It sounds like you're walking into an old convenience store when you put the key in it. Watch. Doesn't that sound like you're like walking?
Yep. Oh, okay.
It's a sewing machine, homie. Wanna go for a run?
Sure.
Get in. You know we had to go with premium too, right?
93 is the only way to go.
That's it.
Unless you've got race fuel.
I don't. Well, we got ethanol. It probably won't run on E85 though. This thing's been, it was sitting, Ron told me it's set for 8 years. Luis got it running, put a new tank in it. We got it fired up off of starter fluid. It ran off that, but we didn't want to run it very long with the way the pump was, but they did an oil change on it. Luke took it this morning and did, like looked it over at the lube center itself. So they checked the tire pressure and all the fluids and everything like that. It probably could use a coolant flush, but I want to see if it actually stays running. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Before
we get too deep into it and have a bigger issue. So I'd like to make sure that the motor doesn't start knocking or the transmission goes out from sitting that long, and then we're got a bunch of money in something that really wasn't, you know, I don't want to waste money is what I'm getting at. So I'm gonna stop at $75. That's enough. I don't know how many gallons this tank is, but that's only 19. It's probably about to shut off anyways. I can't imagine it being that big. All right. Loading. I don't know how big this tank is, but that only put us at half. I'm hoping that gas gauge is wrong. Surely this tank, that was how many gallons? 19?
Yeah.
40-gallon tank. I don't know if I buy that. I'm a little scared to like pull out and try. I don't know if I trust this thing enough yet. Like if I give it gas,
yeah, it's
stay
not
running.
die. Yeah.
So I think we're just gonna wait for a nice opening. And it looks like right is traffic. It's about that time everybody's getting out of school. Just creep on out here. Yeah, the steering wheel's gotta be fixed. That's annoying. Makes me so nervous to drive this thing after it's Bring the forklift and pick us up. We're down. Tires are 8 years old of sitting still. I can feel something like the brakes. Jagoon, 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 jagoon.
What's that usually a sign of?
Well, these are probably set on the rotor so long. There's probably a rust spot on the rotor.
And it's catching every time.
Every time it goes around, yeah, because it was going. When I was holding my foot on the brake, it was slowing.
I could feel it over here.
Yeah, it was slowing down with it. So we're not going to get going too crazy. But I do want to take her down the road. Came with a sweet chicken.
I was gonna say, is that the horn?
Sure does ride nice, though.
It really does.
I had plans like, oh man, let's just make this thing ridiculously fast or something.
Like a real street sleeper.
Like twin turbos or something like that. But, it went up to full, it just took a little bit. I just can't. I need to do my dad's truck before I do any other projects. So the good thing is that it runs and drives, so like I can cruise it back and forth to the shop or to home, you know. You know what? I'm gonna go down this road.
Woo, yeah. You're gonna need these to be turned for sure.
Oh, this is a no outlet road. I turned on the wrong street. All right, we gotta go back the other way. We do a little circle though. I don't know if I've ever actually been down this road.
And in old Boosted GT lives somewhere out here by you?
Yeah, he's down the street from me. Driving this kind of car around probably makes me look a little suspicious, a little sus.
It blends in with Johnson County.
That's fairly accurate. I think I passed your house the other day.
Probably.
And I didn't know the brake. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. We probably should go back because the brake pedal's getting lower and lower and lower and lower.
Okay.
So that's a little sketchy. At least it feels like it is. Maybe it's not. Yeah, we'll just test it. We'll just roll with it. Oh, this is the road I wanted to go down earlier. I think it might be my imagination. I think I'm a little paranoid. You're not too far from the boat ramp, right?
No, not at all.
Okay, so I went, where...
I live right on the corner.
It's like second house over or something like that?
Yeah.
First house? Okay. Because I passed it, and I don't know how I didn't ever see it before, but I don't ever go that way until we got our boat. But I went to the lake the other day, and I was like, you gonna stop there, homeboy?
I know, that's what I was wondering.
Jesus. I saw the red vet. The blue Camaro and the red vet caught my eye. So I saw your two cars sitting underneath the shop awning there or whatever. And I was like, I didn't know that's where you lived. Like, I knew you were out that direction, but I wasn't exactly sure where it was.
Yeah, Cobra's parked behind that on the lift in the shop.
Oh, okay, nice.
And the C6 that I don't really want to talk about right now. I got to get on that sometime.
It's been a while since you even touched that one, huh?
The last day, yeah, like 3 years ago, I think I BODYWORK the wet sanded it, and then you primed those.
Has it been that long already?
I feel like it has. What's funny is like I have all the car like just mocked up with all the body panels on it, and it just looks, everything in primer looks so much smoother than the factory paint.
There's one part still up at the shop.
Yeah, I know.
On top of the booth, the one that goes by the.
I need to get with you at some point and concoct a plan to
maybe start painting that one.
Yeah, man, you really chose the jankiest street to come out on here.
This is my street.
I know, but you can't see.
Man, I'm getting more and more confident with it now, though. You know what I mean?
Dude, this thing cruises smooth, that's for sure.
That was the smoothest I've ever been down my street before. I was honestly kind of thinking that the transmission was gonna give out on us by now. Just 'cause it's been sitting so long. And it's too hot to cruise this dude with no AC, so that's the next fixer-upper. Sounds terrible when you hit the brakes.
It really does. But yeah, that road that you turn to the lake on, not if you turn left from my house to go to the lake.
Yep.
But if you turn right and go that way, Tommy lives down that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he drives by my house honking all the time. I drive by his house honking all the time.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know that area very well.
It's people that either have money or meth heads. There is no in between.
That's why I was out there. I was the meth head. I was out there just messing around.
Oh man, we gotta get you the pink suit to go with this.
I smell the brakes.
Yeah, I do too.
You smell it?
Yeah.
This thing's
It's either that or the transmission, but I doubt it since it's an auto.
as long as we made it back. We're
Yeah.
good. That's my update for the week. I'm excited because I painted and I got to drive my caddy. So until next time. Bye-bye.
Until 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
All right, Ken, what you got for us?
Short and sweet. We're in the body shop. Obviously it's Thursday. We're cleaning.
Looks extremely clean in here.
I'm sure Casey already showed you Philip's firewall. Hopefully by next week he sees that.
Yeah.
He'll be home so you can see it. He'll be here Tuesday maybe. Thursday.
KC?
No, Philip.
Oh, Philip.
So this will come out next Thursday morning, and I think he shows up next Thursday. So
Okay.
Worked on the firewall, got it in 100, 220, 320. Helped Chase and Nick wet sand outside yesterday. And then I've been back on the square body. Above the body line, we got everything to 320, or may I say we. I mean, it is all in 320. I think I got to finish the back of the tailgate. Then Monday come in, flip my tape line, work on the bottom. There's a couple little spots I'm not supposed to be having prime, but we gotta have a couple little spot primes.
I won't go too far back because I don't
Go
want to risk
for it.
bumping into anything.
Go for it.
After all this work you've done, that's the last thing I want to do.
You gotta watch Chase, he's the one that just roughhouses in. That's my short and sweet.
So I see you got the firewall welded up.
I did. I removed the cab, got the firewall all welded up.
Man, dude, come look at it from here. The lines on the firewall on the trans tunnel, they look so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I mean, considering this is all handmade from scratch.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful trying to, once you have it clecoed in and it's straight, then you gotta weld it.
And that's when
And the heat does not like to keep stuff straight. So after I welded it all, it had waves and stuff pulling harder in some places, which created waves and high spots and all that stuff. So with a little help of the shrinking disc and the shrinking tip on the stud puller and a straight edge, that's the most important part, it came back out.
Has Todd Wilson seen it yet?
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
not the. I was working on it. He hadn't seen it
Gotcha.
like this.
He's gonna be excited.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see all the little chicken pox on the inside from zapping it.
Oh wow.
Let me go get my straight edge real quick. Just show you a quick thing of what I did on the other side. Maybe help somebody who welds something in and has some waves or something. So you can kind of see where that area was concentrated. I would just use my straight edge and slide it up, and wherever it would
Either have a
teeter-totter.
crown or a valley.
Yeah, wherever it teeter-totter, you can see that's a little out, but I could probably address that. But yeah, you can see right there. So then I would just zap that with a shrinking tip on the stud puller, and then just work your way up, and that's all I did. And sometimes you have to hammer it and whatnot, but
That's a good tip. 'Cause I'm sure there's a lot of people that can weld
Yeah.
stuff like that, but then end up with the bad oil can issue.
yeah, because I mean I had it nice before I welded it, but all that heat, and then especially going around a corner, it's wanting to pull that edge. So
yeah, I can see
this
that's a
worked
lot
out.
of finessing with all those
Yeah.
spots.
Yeah, I ground a lot of them off too, but so I got really good at that on this one. Seemed to work the best. And then made some braces right here for the brake.
Let me get down low. Oh, nice. That's gonna just help stiffen everything up.
Yeah, that way it's not just riding on sheet metal and
Right, so that way when you're pressing on pedals, you don't get
Yeah.
that spongy feel of like the firewall moving. Like
Yeah.
I've ridden in some old cars like that.
yeah, that, and then like this brace is connected to the dash, which is also the pedal. So like if you're mashing on it, it could tweak the firewall or whatever. Plus, it just needs to be stronger to brace. It kind of ties into the hinge brace, so that'll help strengthen that up. And started making this one. I had to put some cool dimple dies in it.
Yeah, it's cool. I can see it perfectly through the glove box hole right here.
So that's just for support because it's just flat all the way across, and I was pushing on this. And the firewall kind of still has a little bit of flex in it, so that should take it out, most of it. And then when I mount the AC box over here, I'll have another bracket that'll tie that in. And
Right, and then you'll have a bulkhead there
Yeah.
too, right? Probably add more strength.
yeah, somewhere in there. But I had to straighten the firewall first, that way I could put that plate over it, because in case I needed to hammer and dolly it, I would be able to. Otherwise, it would be very hard to do that. But I guess it's got a dolly welded to the back of it now if you have to hammer it. And oh yeah, stripped the back of the cab. There was that was probably the worst panel on the cab. It was real dented up.
Yeah, it looks nice and
So
straight.
straighten all the dents out. I couldn't quite get this. It's a little
Oh, I see
funky right
that.
there. I was torn between cutting it out of the parts cab out back or just filling it.
Did you try and use a metal puller on that too?
Yeah, and it's just so tight.
Just that crease of an angle there.
Yeah, fixed a couple, hammered a couple eyebrows out of the roof, and yeah, I don't know, I worked on the firewall most of the week, so ground the floor welds down.
Well, this cab is close to perfection.
So it's getting there, yeah. It's where it should be.
It's a lot further
So-
along than any of those other ones would have been.
Oh yeah, I'm happy with the way it's turning out. So finished the couple, I guess next week. Labor Day is Monday,
Yeah, I heard y'all are off.
and then Casey will be in Mexico.
And I'm going to be gone too.
Oh, you ain't gonna come next
Yeah.
week?
Nope.
With no shenanigans of?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh.
Be out on the
Coulda
golf
had it.
course drinking beer and
Are you out golfing?
yeah, playing in a tournament.
Oh, nice. Could have been doing hood rat stuff out here with no supervision, but
Instead, I'm going to be doing it out of the country club.
yeah.
A bunch of old guys.
Maybe it's good there's no documentation of what we did next week.
Well, no, because I got to come back in 2 weeks and make it look like y'all have done a ton. You know, this thing ought to be in paint by then.
That'll be painted.
I'm just messing with you.
I can get a paint pen and start painting it. Yeah, that's all I did. That's my outro.
That works.
Well, this week I did more Bronco stuff.
Yeah.
I had an issue last Thursday. Like at the end of the day, like I wired up the battery and got everything powered up. No smoke. I was all happy, testing stuff, interior lights, gauges, like my fan, relays and stuff. And then I went to see if it would crank. I mean, I had the starter wasn't hooked up, like the trigger wire wasn't.
You just wanted to see if all your electrical was good.
Yeah, and I went to crank it in park and nothing, like no voltage to the starter.
Oh, no.
But I put it in neutral and it would fire up. So,
Was it just a...
oh, I'm not.
What really happened?
We don't know yet.
Oh.
We still
I
haven't,
think the lever that
we still haven't figured out.
The lever that they sent us with the Ford kit
Was
The wiring
actually a
was-
Chevy.
was backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I spent. No, I wasn't gonna say it. I was gonna see if we could get the comments to figure it out, or in the comments, the audience. So I mean, I was racking my brain. I was checking everything. Of course, you immediately think it's like I got some kind of wires messed up.
Was it polarity?
What's that?
Was it the polarity?
No.
Oh no.
And so that transmission, the 10R80, actually has like a park range sensor in it. So the ECM knows, get out of here. I'm speaking above y'all's level anyways.
Okay. 3 days to figure it out.
2.5. So in that ECM, the ECM knows when it's in park, neutral, drive. So it has a built-in neutral safety switch in it.
Gotcha.
And I thought, you hate to condemn like a brand new transmission, right?
Right.
And so I just wanted to, so I went like back and forth with Ford on whether or not the control pack I had was specifically for this transmission, because there's a year break where you can't, like a 21 model won't work. Anyways, I figured it out at lunch. I was eating lunch. I had a Lunchable, and like all the vitamins and nutrients were going to my head, and a little light bulb popped up. And
Check
I went
engine
and
light.
checked something out, and I figured it out. So what was it? It'll be a mystery. We'll leave them in suspense.
Okay.
I could tell you off camera.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to figure out too. I was gonna throw some guesses out, but I don't want to get your reaction on camera. I'd rather.
So just to reiterate, it would start in neutral, but would not start in park. So we did figure it out.
Sounds like it was set
And
up for a
then
manual.
got the supercharger on, like final assembly. Well, I mean, it's gonna come back off.
I want to rotate around here.
But it's all on, it's all torqued, filled up with oil. I made power steering hoses today.
Like within just the last few minutes.
Yeah, that was kind of
Looks good though.
trying to figure out how it's all snakes in there and still looks good. And then the airbox will come and cover that up. What else? Fuel lines, we had this line running here with a quick connect like that, and then Keenan walked in and looked at it and said, oh, the brake booster is going to hit that. So sure enough, we test fit, it's going to hit. So we got to kind of modify how that fuel line comes in. He's killing me, man. He's killing me. So we're just plugging away. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be building exhaust for this in the next maybe not next week, but the week after.
Right on.
And then maybe another week after that, kind of button everything up and get it fired up.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, you're fine. So that's it. That's what I did this week.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Needs a little lubrication. Shut up.